The air crackles before the storm. You feel it in your bones, a familiar, cold dread. It begins not with a shout, but with a shift in the atmosphere, a misplaced object, a sentence taken out of context, a sudden, inexplicable sadness that descends upon her like a shroud. You know this prelude. And then the chaos erupts. It is a carefully constructed tempest, a whirlwind of accusations, tears, and frantic energy. The room itself seems to shrink, the walls closing in. Your first instinct is to fix it, to be the calm in her storm. You rush in with reassurances, apologies for sins you didn't commit, and desperate attempts to piece together the logic of her fury. You become a detective in a crime that never happened, searching for clues in her words, her silences. You exhaust yourself, running in circles within the maze she has built for you. And when the storm finally passes, she offers you a fragile peace, a weary smile, an embrace that feels more like an anchor than an affection. You breathe a sigh of relief. You think you've survived. You think you've proven your love, your loyalty. You are wrong. This was not a moment of emotional fragility. It was not a misunderstanding. This was a test. A deliberately manufactured piece of chaos designed for one purpose, to measure your devotion. Here is the truth. The chaos is a stage she builds to watch you perform. Will you run? Will you fight? Will you abandon your own sanity to restore hers? She doesn't seek peace. She seeks proof. She is so terrified of being abandoned that she must simulate the crisis of abandonment again and again. Each time you rush to her side, each time you absorb her manufactured panic, you are not healing her. You are validating the test. You are passing, but it's a grade that costs you a piece of yourself. This isn't psychology, it's a trap. A cycle of manufactured crisis, frantic reassurance, and temporary, fragile peace. It is the architecture of a deeply insecure attachment. She creates a problem that only your immediate, frantic loyalty can solve. It's an addiction. She's addicted to the proof, and you're addicted to providing it, believing it to be love. Consider Elias. He loved Lilith with a quiet, steady heart. He saw her as a beautiful, fragile thing, a porcelain figure in a world of stone. Her chaos began subtly, the lost keys right before they had to leave for an important dinner. Her phone mysteriously dead when he needed to reach her. Elias would play his part. He would search, he would call, he would soothe. He'd find the keys in her coat pocket, the first place she should have looked, and she would collapse into his arms, thanking him for being her rock. Then the storms grew larger, accusations born from thin air. A friendly conversation with a waitress was twisted into a narrative of betrayal. He would spend hours defending himself, showing her texts, retracing his steps. He was proving his loyalty. He was showing her she was the only one. He was walking directly into the center of her web, believing it to be a sanctuary. The transformation did not happen overnight. It was a slow dawning, like a bleak, grey morning after a long night of fever. It happened during one of her storms. A broken vase, accusations of carelessness, of not valuing their home, the usual script. Elias stood there, looking at the broken pieces. He looked at her face, twisted in its familiar performance of pain. And he felt nothing. The anger, the fear, the desperate need to fix it, all gone. It was replaced by a profound, hollow clarity. He saw the strings, he saw the stage, he saw the director at work. He did not shout, he did not argue, he did not even sigh. He simply looked at her, then at the broom and dustpan in the corner. Slowly, calmly, he walked over, picked them up, and began to sweep the pieces of the broken vase. He didn't speak. He didn't look at her. He simply cleaned up the mess. This was not the reaction she needed. His panic was the water for her roots. His frantic energy was the air in her lungs. His indifference was a vacuum. Her tears faltered. Her accusations trailed off into confused silence. The storm had no wind to carry it. The fire had no oxygen to burn. She looked at him, this calm, detached stranger who was cleaning up the props from her failed play. For the first time, she was not the one in control. Here is the weapon that dismantles her reality. It is not anger, it is not revenge, it is indifference. Not a cold, cruel indifference, but a calm, boundary-setting indifference. It is a refusal to participate. It is a quiet declaration that you will no longer be an actor in her production. When you stop reacting, you remove the reward. The test becomes pointless. The chaos has no purpose. It starves. She may escalate. The storms may become hurricanes. She will try desperately to provoke a response, any response, to prove the connection still exists, even a negative one. This is the most dangerous moment. This is where you must hold fast to your own peace. You are not her anchor anymore. You are a lighthouse. Your light doesn't stop the storm. It simply shows the truth of the shore. It is up to her to navigate it. To break her is not to destroy her. It is to break the cycle, to break the spell she has cast on you, and perhaps even on herself. Your indifference is the ultimate act of loyalty, not to her manufactured drama, but to the truth of your own well-being. It is the weapon that doesn't wound, but liberates.